Hi guys, welcome back to another Transformers toy review. We're having a look at another Generation Selects figure, and this is another Seacon, and this is the big one. It's Seacon's Turtler, also referred as Snaptrap. So I'm not sure the reason behind the new name, whether or not they kind of just lost the rights to use it or what. Or whether or not it's called that over in Japan, I really don't know. But here you got the similar kind of artwork packaging on the front here, where you've got these kind of almost, I'm trying to think what their name is, but it's kind of like a graphic design sort of like sketch, like schematic of Turtler in his robot mode and then in his beast mode here, which I think looks really nice. And you know, this kind of sleeve goes all the way around to the back, where you've got a Decepticon thing on here, and then it just slides off. It is a little bit tricky to do, so you do have to sort of get it upright and pull it off that way. You don't want to rip the thing anyway. And I'll just pop that off to one side, and then you've got your Generation Select kind of brown sort of packing box, if you like, and that can just open up down the bottom here. Same packaging as before here, and then you've got the figure in here with a sword, his kind of shield, which adds on to this bit on here, the combiner feet pieces here as well, which you can see there's a different design, a bespoke design for the Seacons, and different kind of combiner feet as well. So yeah, sort of there he is, and then in the bottom there you've got his instruction manual. So what we'll do next is we'll kind of cut him out of here, and we'll take a look at him, probably I'd imagine in his sea turtle or whatever, Snapdragon mode or whatever you want to call it. So we'll take a look at him. And here we are, we've got him in his beast mode, if you like, and yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. There's a few things that you have to do straight out of the packaging just to get him transformed. So he has his legs forward, so you just have to bend those down, same with the legs here, and then you just peg this bit on the top here. Yeah, I think it looks pretty decent. I mean, it is quite blocky, and it's going to be that because, you know, with being a combiner, you do have to make certain sacrifices, and with it, you know, you've got his legs all tucked up underneath, which are a little bit blocky. And so if you're getting photographs of him, it's hard to really get a decent photograph of him, because if you've got him head on, it doesn't really, so you have to kind of almost get a picture of him side on. So it's not great, but it does the job. The head articulation is not loads, it can move up and down and around, but you know, it sort of kind of destroys the sculpt, you know, if you sort of move it outside of that. It doesn't move side to side. But saying that, the eyes are really well painted. It's got these lovely sculpted teeth in here, which are all painted, and even like a tongue in here as well, which is all painted. The feet are painted silver, so that's nice. That's done well. And then on top, black plastic here. These feel as if they move forward and back, but I don't think they do. There's an option where you can kind of move the guns out to the side, so you can do it. I think that's to do with transformation. And there's various little pegs and holes on here, so you can kind of peg the gun on the front if you want to and have that look, or you can peg the sword on the back. And I guess you could peg these on as well, although it would look a little bit ridiculous with those on. Excuse me, sorry. So you could do that, although saying that, you can kind of fold these around a little and have the guns at the top here, so you can't have it totally flat, so that might not be too bad. And these kind of rotate around on the sort of little ratchet thing that you've got there as well. And it looks as if the gun itself has loads of pegs on, so you could potentially add other weapons on. That might be something that we come to see later on with combined mode, but there's unfortunately no paint on this, although the sculpt's quite good. There's lots of sort of empty. It's kind of, the sculpting's done in the kind of empty parts of it. It's okay, I guess. And then the sword itself is quite decent for him, and it's kind of done in this almost like purpley silver kind of metallic paint, which is done quite nicely. And again, the sculpt is fairly decent, and again, you can peg something on there, or you can peg it into various different pieces. And then if you look on the back here, you've got silver paint. There's a little bit of sloppiness, or a little bit of mark on there down here, and then a slightly different silver, almost like gunmetal across here. And then you've got these bits which are like a silver chrome finish, and then on his legs he's got this pink paint finish on top of the kind of green plastic, which is done quite well actually. It's quite difficult to do, I'd imagine, with that. So there's a few little bits here and there, but overall I think they've done a pretty decent job. And in there you can see where his fists are and that. And then underneath here you've got his silver claws here as well. And the feet, they can move forward and back. You can move them out to the side here as well. I'm not sure about the feet. That's just to do with the transformation. The head we mentioned, these bits can move forward and back to the side here as well. There is a bend there, but then it's not going to help with this particular, in this particular mode, I don't think. I mean, you can splay out the legs a little bit, but there isn't a huge amount you're going to have to do with him really in terms of articulation. I think you're kind of going to be a little bit limited really, I think. So that's him in his beast mode here. On the instructions, funnily enough, it does show you those few steps from going in from basically him kind of out of the box straight into his kind of beast mode, and then it goes from his beast mode through to his robot mode, I think, yeah. And then it goes from, so I'm just following the instructions, and then it goes from the beast mode through to show the combiner mode. So we can also show that as well. And then what does it show? Yeah, so I'm just looking through and seeing what else is on the instructions. Yeah, so it does also show the kind of armored up mode, which I kind of mentioned. So just to show you that, what it shows is these bits plugged on here in that configuration with the guns like that. These plugged in like that. The gun on the top like that. Like so. And then it shows the sword being pegged in underneath. So then you can have everything on him and he's all armoured up. I guess it doesn't look too bad. It depends kind of what you're doing with it, but that is also an option, just so you know. And right, what we'll do now is we'll get him transformed and we'll take a look at him in his robot mode. Right, here we are. So we'll start the transformation into robot mode. First off, we'll take these bits off like so. Take the gun off. Take this bit off here, just kind of pegged on underneath like so. So just unpeg that off like that. And this is the first time in doing it, but I'm pretty confident I can get it right. I've got the instructions here by me if I do get stuck. And you can see his little head in there. I think we just have to kind of open this up and fish his head out like that, no pun intended. And then it looks like you just sort of bring that bit down, but we'll sort that bit out. It shows on the instruction these bits coming off, so these bits pull off like that. Oh, you can actually move the guns up and down, look. it looks like. Well, they look as if they can move up and down anyway. Oh yeah. So they actually click in. So if you do want to move them, you can, and they sort of click in. So you can do them kind of halfway in between, and you get a little bit of movement there. So just to be aware, pop out like that, and just pull them out from there. So that's fine. I'm going to sort of muddle my way through this and see how we get on. This one's obviously based off the Silver Bolt, Scattershot, and everything, the not Abominous, Hunger mold as well. So it's good the way that they've done it and managed to reuse this as much as possible and still make it new each time. So I think they've done a decent job at doing that. So you know, that can't be easy. Looks as if this bit here, looks as if you twist that a bit around and peg that into here, looks like. So that's the other head that's kind of hidden away in the back there. Let's have a look to see. Okay, so I think so these bits peg in like that. Let me adjust the camera slightly, sorry. So these bits look as if they turn in and then plug into that bit there. Which once I've done that, it should make everything else a little bit easier. This bit comes down, plugs into there like that. Let's move the arms a little bit so they're going to be facing the right way. Peg these down and around like that. Again, move them down and around like so, like that. This piece looks as if it pegs into here, and I think there's a little peg on the other side of here, so that just needs to go into there. So just try and line that up. Yeah, so we've done that. And turn his head around. That's right. Yes, so unfortunately you've got that bit behind there. Then that bit pegs into there like so. And then I think you're nearly done. And these legs move around like that. Then you're more or less done with him. Just checking to see if there's any other bits that I'm missing. No, so those bits are okay. You can oh, can you add the guns on the back? I think you probably can. So yeah, you can add these on the back if you wish to. I think so, you can do that. It doesn't necessarily show them like that on the instructions, but let's have a little look through. Oh, it does, yeah, it does show them you can do that, have them pegged in at the back, and then it shows you a few different things that you can do with the weapons. So I think it shows that you can combine them together. So if I just move these out of the way here, it shows that with these here, no, it's those guns there at the top here. You can combine them either side of the larger gun if you wish to. So I'll show you very quickly what you can do with that, just to give you the different options. But I think he does look better with those at the back. So you've got the option here, you can peg these onto either side like that, looks like. And then there's an option to add them onto here. So you can kind of have that as one big gun if you want to. I think you can also have these and have them on his legs if you want to. So on the instructions it shows you that you can have them kind of pegged into the side if you want to do that as well. So you've got a few different options with the legs. So you've got that. I think probably how I'm going to have him is with these bits on his back like that. You can peg them in a fair bit like that, and then have him holding one of the swords here like that, which he holds absolutely fine. He's got his other gun, larger gun, which he can hold. It's a bit of a tight squeeze, that, but he does hold it okay. And then this, I guess, as a type of shield. I think, again, I'm going by the instructions because they don't have loads of pictures on here, but they have them with these chrome pieces here turned back around like that, and it just pegged onto his arm here like that. So is it kind of a shield on the side there. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty good looking, intimidating mode, I think. And then these bits you can add as claws on the other ones if you do want to. Someone asked me about the blast effects. Just to show you, here he is alongside his little buddy here. You can add the blast effects on, however they aren't actually meant for it, so you don't have the same connection, but you can actually put that in there and have them sort of coming out various different degrees, and they do hold in there, so I'm not sure if that is the same for this one here. So you can do bits and pieces with them, but they're not specifically designed to go in them, if that makes sense. So that's the two of them there side by side. What we'll do next is let's have a look. You can also have him hold these as a weapon if you wish to. If you can get it in his hand, I'm sure he can. Like that, although they are a little bit on the top heavy side. What we'll do next is we'll take a look at articulation on the figure, and we'll get him transformed into his next mode. Right then, so let's take a look at him. Just move all the accessories out of the way. I've taken them off just to make it a little bit easier to show you the figure. So a lot of the same things that are carried through. You've got the Decepticon symbol on here, which is on the top of the kind of turtle head. The robot head here, I think this really well done. I like the sculpt that they've used for it. He does look a very kind of sinister looking Decepticon. I love the kind of faceplate and the sculpting around here. It's painted nice silver with the yellow eyes. You can get the confused dog a little bit. The head rotates all the way around. He can't really look up, but he can look down a little bit. The arms are what we come to expect. You do have to kind of maneuver them around these bits here, but they do work well. It's kind of ratchet, but and then some bits it goes around and it's not quite a ratchet all the way around. I don't know. It definitely feels easier going around one way than the other. I don't know. I can sense potential issues with that. It does feel a little bit too tight on one side or going around certain areas. The arms go around here. Again, that's quite a wide ratchet, a bit of space in between them, but it's quite stiff. That rotates around here like that. You've got nice paint on here, which I mentioned, and on here. The face is well done, as I mentioned. Nothing on here. I mentioned the ratchets are quite tight. No waist articulation because of how it and what it does. Back kind of cleans up quite nice. You can opt to take these off. It's a shame that these bits aren't covered up. It does kind of ruin the look a little bit. The legs can go all the way up to here. It's a bit of a ratchet, but it's a soft one. And then back to here, all the way out to the side. You get a swivel in here over a mushroom peg, and then the leg goes all the way up to there. And then they've done something slightly different with the feet, in terms of you've got the forward and back, but you do also get that kind of tilt on there, which I think is a new thing that we've got on here. However, they have this bit open here as a kind of almost, that's the combiner piece, but they haven't opted to cover it over this time, which I think is to do with the transformation, the way that it works, but it's kind of an odd choice because it makes this bit look a little bit untidy in this mode. But I can see it does kind of look like a knee underneath there. Nice kind of pink paint underneath here, no kind of scratches or anything, and the detail comes across nicely. So all in all, a pretty good robot mode, and you can get a wide stance on him because of what they've done with the feet here, which before this figure was a little bit up and down in terms of trying to pose him. So I think they've done well with that, and obviously you can arm him up with various different weapons, the sword, the gun and the shields, and you've got different options to do things with that. So again, I think they've opted, made some good choices there. You can obviously hold these in your hand, and he does hold them a little bit better than his colleagues would do. I think you can even take these pieces off. So if you, so you can take these pieces off, have them just as a gun, or these bits just as a kind of a claw piece, so the other guys can hold that if they want to. Either way around, obviously they can hold it upside down, which I don't think this guy quite has the option to, because this bit kind of gets in the way, but you get the general idea what you can do with that. So there's kind of good use of these kind of accessory parts in terms of how they can be used. And then going through, if you're going to go into the combined mode, if I just get out the other piece here, this is the piece that would go into the back, and you can see that gives you a good deal of kind of stabilization. However, I'm not sure for aesthetics whether or not you would want the whole foot displayed like that, or whether or not you would just want it like that. I don't know, it just seems that's quite a lot of foot on the back to have on there. But I guess we're not going to know until we see what it looks like all done. So that's one thing we'll have to see when we get them all combined. I will be doing a review of all of them, so we'll take a look at that, you know, when we get all of them. I will show you what the mid section looks like as well, so that's something we'll kind of move on to next. I'll just check the instructions just to see if there's any other bits that we've missed off in this mode, and I think we've pretty much covered off everything that I can think of. Yeah, I mean, the only other thing to mention is I guess we've seen it with these bits before. I've put these pieces out to the side, but I think you can kind of move them as you want, so you could potentially have it round that way or have something attached on the front that way. So you do have different options with the feet here. Oh, you see what I mean? You can move them out like that, so however you want them really, or if you didn't want that bit showing, I guess you could move it around that way so that bit's showing out there. So yeah, entirely up to you how you want to do it, but it's nice that you've got the options to do that. Anyway, that's him in his robot mode. Pretty good. What we'll do next is take a look at his combined torso mode. Right then, so what we're going to do first off is take these pieces off here like this. These bits I think are going to go down towards the bottom here, like that. Straighten them up, because these are going to be where the kind of feet combine, and you're going to have to kind of move these bits out of the way here like that. Yeah, I don't know what's the best way to do it, whether or not you do it that way, have them slide on that way and have the feet bits on the back. That's potentially going to be the best way to do it. You're going to open up this piece on the back here. That bit's going to come out, their head at the back. You're going to fold this in, their head folds away in there quite nicely, folds this bit up, and then it comes down here, I think. And then the head is going to come all the way up and kind of go into this gap area here. And then this is where you kind of do what the others done in terms of the Combiner Wars element, I think. You're going to fold these feet, I think, back into that gap. And I'll move the head forward a little bit just to see what you do here. But it looks like this bit here is going to peg into the side there. So I just peg that into there. And move this forward so it's the head's a little bit out of the way, like that. So again, fold it back so you can see those gaps in there like that. Yes, I think that's right. Put these feet in on the side here, which just need a little bit of a coercion to get into place like that. And then these bits here are going to come together like that. Looks like these bits then peg in together like so. That comes down like that, I think. Was I supposed to put this bit in here first? I might have had to put this bit up first, I think. So I think this goes forward like that, and in there, and then these bits into there like that, I think. Yeah, those bits look as if they're pegged onto the side there. That looks as if it's kind of resting on there at the moment. I'm not sure if this bit comes up here and pegs into there. Just look at the back piece here. Yeah, it does look as if that comes around and pegs into that gap there. So it doesn't sit flush on there, but yeah, that is pretty secure all around then. And then you've got this piece here, which has always kind of been a parts forming piece really, for this combiner, and it looks as if it pegs into here like that, and then these side pieces go into things on the either side here, so it keeps it nice and secure like that. It looks as if you can fold these bits out here as well, so you can have them back like that. Just fold them out, those ears back a little bit like that. And oh yes, the other thing, you got these bits on the back here, so With this one I would probably extend them just because it's then the combiner mode. Like that. And then because we've rotated these bits around, you've got the space there to plug them in. Either side, like that. Like that. And yeah, that looks good. I'll just adjust the camera slightly just so you can see what it looks like. So I think it's going to look good, isn't it? I think this is probably going to be the best Combiner Wars one that they've done. I'm sorry, I've got these around the wrong way. And then the legs will slot on here, the arms in here either side. Be nice and easy. You'll have ratchets here, and they are really sturdy, almost two. You've got a swivel here, swivels going out here. You won't have waist articulation. The head will go around. Lovely paint that's used in here, great sculpt. Nice chrome paint that's used in here. The feet will be, if you have them flat out, they'll be able to rotate around. You'll have ratchets here, so you'll be able to get a wider pose with him. There's nothing for grip on the bottom of them, but it should hold okay. And in terms of support on the back, you can add that back piece on. So I think that'll look nice. I mean, they do show another piece where they show this piece here combined with the sword to fit on the side of the arm, but side of the combined arm, but then you wouldn't have that piece on the front. So I really don't understand why you would do anything like that with it, but it is an option, but I don't think you're going to have that bit off. I don't think. So yeah, I'm not sure what you're going to do with this sword, if it's going to, the other swords are going to combine with it. It looks like this is going to be a separate sword on its own. The other ones are going to have swords that combine, and then potentially you've got the option to add other guns to this potentially. But certainly overall I think he looks good and well worth getting. I think these ones are a little bit more expensive than the other Combiner Wars figures that we've seen so far, but you know, if you're a fan of kind of Seacons or any of the combiners, it's definitely one to get. You know, I think we're pretty much there in terms of combiners. I think there's only a few kind of obscure ones like Raiden and things like that that we need to finish off, and I think that's coming in terms of a masterpiece. So anyway, but that's it. It's a second in the series. It's been having a look at Snaptrap, or as he's called now, Turtler, from Generation Select. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.